Okay, so I'm a libertarian, and the reasons I believe in libertarian principles and the free market is because, number one, it is an ethical system. You don't have to do business with people with a middle person that holds a gun to anyone's head, okay? You don't have to enslave anyone. It is fully voluntary, and it is in compliance with the non-aggression principle. We are not using or misusing or abusing people, treating them as though they are our servants and subservient to our interests, and telling them what to do with their incomes and their lives, as though they work on our plantation. That is basically a socialist system where the state owns the plantation, the majority owns the plantation, and those who disagree have no choice but to work on that plantation. When a man works but does not have the right to his own labor, how can that man say, I am a free man? Many say we have an ethical system, and that socialism is an ethical system because it helps poor people. Yes, that's the second part of the equation, giving the money away. But the way the money is being obtained is through the use of force and enslaving people and ripping off their labor against their will. So this is an unethical system, and what happens, as I was mentioning before, the reason socialism doesn't work in any kind of statist or collectivist society, doesn't ultimately work and it fails, is because, number one, people don't want to work for someone else. The best example, something that Americans would be familiar with, is when you have roommates. No one wants to clean the kitchen, no one wants to clean or fix the bathroom because it's not theirs, or the door that gets broken or dirty, or clean the windows. If something is not yours, you're not going to put an effort and bust yourself to make it happen. So now people say, but your system is based on greed. And I'll say, no, my system is based on honesty and hard work. The only way I can earn your business is by simply offering you better value and more choice than my competitors. If not, you're going to go with my competition and I'm going to be out of work. So I'm ending up serving you in a capitalist free market society, in a true free market society, not a crony capitalist, not what we have right now, in a truly free society where you have total freedom to hire who you want, and I have total freedom to put an offer and work for whoever I want for. In such a society, basically, I'm serving you better than anyone else, not because I'm a nice guy, not because you're a nice guy, but because the only way I can advance my own interest is by serving you better than anyone else. In any kind of forced society, I'm supposed to serve you better. Okay, some government may have some laws, but in reality, I'm not going to do it because, you don't have a choice. If you don't like my work, you can't fire me. You can't get rid of me. It's like the public school. If you don't like their services, who cares? You still have to pay their bills. If you don't like the government, who cares? They're a monopoly. You don't have no choice. So that's why I'm stating that the most ethical and prosperous system, productive system, is a free market system, and that I'm trying to let people know that, to soothe their fears, that they will not be left out in the cold, that people will have jobs. Why? Because the human needs are so great. The roads need to be fixed, the buildings are falling apart, there are all kinds of things that can be built. So it's not like we're running out of work. There is plenty of work. The reason why we don't have jobs is because the government, through the taxation system, makes it virtually impossible to create work for people. So we have an artificial crisis of jobs, we have an artificial crisis of housing, and so on and on and on. Now, if you're saying, okay, I'm kind of tired of all your rant and all these things, there are some good ideas here and there, but how do you know this thing is going to work? Well, let's take some historical examples. Take East Germany versus West Germany. This is the same German people that were for 40 years, were under two different systems, a more free market system and a central collectivist statist system, central planners. And what happened after 40 years? They both started the same place. After 40 years, who was more prosperous? Who was more free? What environment was cleaner? The West Germans had cleaner environment. People are more prosperous and more free. Okay? Opposite to that, in the East Germany, they had Stasi, they had people listening to your phone calls, they had no freedom, they were running down, they had no money, their economy was falling apart, their lakes and rivers were polluted and so on. Okay, but that's one place. Let's say another place, that was just Europe. Let's say Taiwan versus China, mainland, okay? Well, you look at Thailand, you look at China, and you see, where do people run from? It's Chinese people running from China to Taiwan, not the other way around, okay? What people, which system has less poor? Which system is more prosperous and more educated? And you're going to see that the more educated people are and more prosperous and more freer in Taiwan.